Good afternoon, everybody. So I am Guillaume Rachez. I am the head of products at Perfect Memory. I have 15 years of experience in semantic technologies applied to asset management. So Perfect Memory is a software provider, and we deliver what we call the cognitive asset management. The cognitive asset management, which is a collaborative and evolutive solution to manage your assets by your own rules. So I'm going to show you the keys to making finding content produced 30 days or 30 years ago so easy. Because if you can't find your assets, how can you maximize their value? So let's start. Let's start with this. Data, we know it, is everywhere. But data alone is useless. Who has never failed finding the right content produced within your organization, even it is video, audio, or handwritten? And this is fundamentally related to the data-driven approach everywhere. Let's illustrate it. Let's say we are in the context of a media broadcaster, in this case, France Télévisions, the largest media broadcasters in France, and one of the Perfect Memories clients. And Cedric, member of the communication department, is looking for a specific episode in a series and in which a scene has been shot in Italy. Okay. At the same time, Louis asks for some shots from Paris. At the same time, Fred, member of the design department, asks for the Excel table sheet in which the episode synopsis is. And at the same time, again, Julia asks for a specific episode with a red car appearing. Well, everybody in this example experience difficulties to get what they need. They have to ask the others in order to find what they are looking for. So, why finding the right content today is so hard? Because firstly, data is scattered in several siloed specialized tools. Because also data does not circulate and so is constantly reproduced. Because the evolution of business needs involves expensive migrations. Because the lack of updates for internal data makes your internal tools in competition with the entire web as a single source of truth. But more than ever, because the tools are fundamentally data-driven. They are designed to store data without context. Basically, we access to words, numbers, symbols, we must interpret. Today, we confuse the means, the data, with the end in itself, the valuable information I am interested in. So that we often have difficulty finding particular content in a mountain of archives. And so, finding in an ecosystem which is only data-driven, it is like this. It is like searching in a messy room. So how we can improve this? Because yes, if I type a search, which is data-driven in a very classical approach, if I have no result, two possible conclusions. First, we don't have any content responding to my search. Or, if I know, I am sure that this content exists, getting no results means that what I typed does not exist as metadata. So what do? I change the data, the words I type in my search, hoping to get finally a result. What does it reveal? We are all very used to search according to the data that are effectively stored And when I get no result, my first conclusion is that my search has been wrongly expressed. Nevertheless, these are my words. We are very used to that. This is the data that drives you, that drives your way to search. So instead of a business-driven approach, we have a data-driven approach. And that's what we must change. So we must be aware that this data issue is there within a production department, but more important, it's here at the scale of the entire organization. Because each department will work as a silo, we are basically in this situation. Everything that is produced with a data management approach and only data make the assets look like this. Multiple rooms that do not communicate with each other, with private access, where it is difficult to action the data. So, what is the common solution to this issue? I think we all know it, is to gather all the data in one place. So let's talk about this common solution. To solve the problem of data accessibility, many choose to put all data in one place, the data lake. Okay, the data lake, it's good in several ways because a data lake will solve the issues of volume, gigantic amount of data can be stored, variety, the diversity of data that can enter in a data lake is enormous, and finally, velocity, the processing speed of data is high in a data lake. But the data lake concept is not really sharing. It is the centralization of the data in one place. We solve one pain point, it's we know where is the data now. Putting in place a data lake, we are only halfway. Why? Because indeed the data is accessible, but it's accessible like this. The data lake, it's like your basement. You know it is here, but every time you will need to find something, it will be hard again. Stopping here, you forget the intelligibility of the data. And do we target the accessibility without intelligibility? Certainly not. So, in our previous example, the problem remains the same. I am still not able to get my episode shot in Italy. So, how we can solve this? Don't let the data alone. Basically, we need to keep the context for every data. We need to target what we can call a knowledge-driven approach. And the main issue from data will be resolved. Let's see. We need to make all the implicit behind the data explicit, according to your business model. And to do that, what we need to do is to build a network of information in a collaborative way. For instance, data can come from the production system, and the words will become meaningful connected resources. Not just a name, but a meaningful person with a lot of associated information. Editorial data with different formats and models can be ingested and mapped to this common model. For instance, knowing the location associated to the episode comes from this data source. So we have here the city of Rome. Okay. We can add broadcasted data. We can add audience data. Also, we can add the open data from the outside. And this is very important because the open data can be considered and will complete the information network, building more and more this knowledge graph. And in our example, it enables us to make explicit the fact that Rome is, as a matter of fact, a city from Italy. We all know this. The open data know this. So if you have the ability to retrieve these facts, you will give the ability to your end users to finally find this episode by searching Italy. The original metadata was Rome. You enrich this information thanks to open data, and after that, you have the ability to multiply the ways to get the content by making the implicit explicit. And also AI modules are also a highly valuable data source. But again, we need to put it in context. An AI module, it's a data provider like the others. The idea is to connect its results to the existing knowledge. And so, maybe it sounds too beautiful to be true. So these initiatives have a name. It's RDF, OWL, ontologies, reasoning. These are the semantic standards carried by the W3C, World Wide Web Consortium, since the beginning of the 2000s. So yeah, at Perfect Memory, we integrate natively all these standards in our cognitive asset management solution. It exists, and you can rely on it in order to keep the context for any data. Okay, this is called the semantic web. And its main principle is to get rid of meaningless links between documents, data links, and deliver a network of resources of interconnected information. And with all the standards today implemented in the linked open data, Wikidata is one of the most popular open knowledge base and enables you to not reinventing constantly the wheel, to rely finally on shared knowledge, always up to date. Always make the implicit explicit. So respecting standards in order to think at the information level, meaningful information level, it's disambiguation. It's easing the access to your assets. It's cleaning the rooms, actually. An asset that is always accessible. In many ways, it is an asset that will be valorized, monetized, that will have a maximum value. And today, we have, for instance, France Télévisions and M6, in which the data reconciliation use cases, the monetization of the assets, the maximization of asset value is very explicit. M6 and France Télévisions are two major clients of Perfect Memory. And we would be very pleased to introduce this use case on our booth. Perfect Memory, if you want to see this use case in action, you can meet us at booth W3221. You will see how our cognitive asset management solution integrates semantic AI and knowledge graph, enabling the tools to deduce the information from the data and make it intelligible, maximizing the accessibility and the value of your assets. Thank you very much for your attention, and have a nice show. So if you have any question, you can meet us on our booth. I will just display it again. Oh, it has been so I repeat it, W3221. Please meet Perfect Memory. Thank you very much.